appreciates it either. Just forgiven. And forgotten. Recording now?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Minute?
They can see your screen. So just,
Okay.
so
Pop up money.
I just don't want them to zoom in and see something.
You're not
I
scrolling
don't
through
keep anything
Facebook
on
or
this
anything?
computer. I don't have anything
Playing,
in life that,
playing Farmville or?
right? There we go. All right, it's 9 o'clock. I'll call to order Isabella County Board of Commissioners Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee meeting. First up, approval of agenda. Does anyone have any additions, changes or deletions to the agenda?
Nope.
All right,
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
all right. There's a motion to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Agenda is approved. All right. Call to the public. Looks like we have just court here today. So
No one
there's
online.
no one online. All right, we'll move on. First up is consider approving submission of the fiscal year 2024 adult treatment court grant application in the amount of $161,757.44. Welcome.
Thank you. Good, how are you?
I'm here and ready.
All right, me too. Kate Mitchell, I am the Adult Drug Court Coordinator. We are asking for $161,000. This would cover my wages and fringe benefits for the program, would cover drug testing, graduation treats. When somebody graduates, we like to give them a certificate and a frame as well as a coffee mug, and then we do usually like cookies and treats for the graduation. Incentives, something that they found to be helpful with drug courts is to have incentives for people when they're doing well. So this would let us buy things like gas cards or a Meyer card and give them out when people are doing well. Last year, I believe we asked for 146,000 and we received 70,000. Wasn't nearly enough, so we're hoping for more this year. We're asking for a little more this year. We were averaging 18 to 19 people in the program. We have 25 right now. So just testing costs alone have gone up that much. So that's why we're asking for a bit more this year.
Why don't you talk a little bit about the coordination of the federal grant opportunity as well?
Yes, they have added the federal grant in with our state grant this year. So you do a little bit more paperwork, but it's all included in one. So we have requested money. So it would be through the state and also 2 different federal grants. Office Highway Safety is doing one, and normally that's just for brand new programs. But for 2024 only, they're doing one for existing programs. So I'm hoping to be able to maybe offset some of the state money with this federal money possibly. And then there's also the JAG burn grant, which we applied for. So, and I think those 3 all coordinate. Those are all given out by the state, even though 2 of them are federal. So I think they kind of coordinate and figure out what each county needs as far as if we do this much from a state and this much from these 2, then
The JAG burn grant is a state grant.
it's a federal grant as well.
Okay.
But the state is in charge of the money that goes out
Okay.
for the federal grant. I
So
don't
we're
know how that
hoping
works.
for more money.
So we're
this
hoping for
year.
more money because
Yeah.
we're applying for
Yeah.
3 different grants.
Nice,
Yes,
nice. And who writes the grant?
that would be me.
Okay.
So
Nice.
just got that finished and
Good.
hopefully we'll get a little more money this year.
So the adult drug court, that's voluntary, right?
Yes.
Somebody
Yes,
Says we'll let you do this and the person
Yep.
can say yes or no.
they come in
Yeah,
and
I'll
meet
do
with
it, or-
me. Yep, I explain the program thoroughly so they know what they're getting into. It's very intensive. I mean, in
Mhm.
phase one, they're coming in 3 days a week to see me. They're have court twice a month. They're doing AA and counseling and community service. So it's very busy for everybody. But it's just to kind of change their mindset and get them out of their normal routine and into a new routine. So
Better than going to jail.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And they sometimes get a little jail time, but not always. They changed the legislation a couple of years ago where that's not required to do the once mandatory jail time for drunk driving.
Oh,
So for an OWI 30, it used to be 30 days mandatory, and
Yeah.
now that time can be waived
oh.
if they're in the program. So
Mhm,
it's another little incentive for doing it.
mhm. So they're somewhat motivated people anyway.
Yes.
So there's no certain number of spots, it's just.
We're kind of
sort
stopped right now. We have one that's kind of on hold until we're supposed to graduate somebody this month, so we might let the one that we have on hold in at that point. But we can't do much more than 25. It's just
Mhm,
too many people to see in a hearing on Wednesday mornings when we do our court hearing. I don't know, it was about 3 weeks ago, we had our last in-person full one, and it takes a long time to go through 25 people to have everybody come up and have a meaningful conversation with them. So.
That is
mhm.
Yeah.
a long agenda for,
Yeah,
So do you feel like the needs being met, the people that want to be in the program, that, you're running a very good program?
I believe so. We just get the new recidivism rates for last year, and for drug and alcohol related offenses in the past 3 years, we have a 0% recidivism rate for drug or alcohol related, and I believe it was 2% for any other, 3% for any other offenses. So we have really good statistics for the program. I think it's
Do you
going well.
just have the one on the waiting list?
Just one, yeah. And this is the first time we've ever had it. Well, since I've been doing it for 4 years, the first time we've had a waiting list.
Something to keep in mind for the adult court and the juvenile court, if you folks, any of you, feel there's a need, there's something that you need, there's some need that's not being met, is anything we can do as commissioners, let us know
Oh, well, thank
if you're
you.
interested.
Thank you.
definitely the treatment and changing of habits, the important side of things. Your numbers are great. I mean, it's 0%.
And that's
Can't do
based on
better.
3 years post-graduation,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean,
It's great.
we're happy with it.
Yeah. I went to that one graduation a couple of years ago and it was amazing. Just quite an experience for me. Very emotional, but yeah.
It's great. Yeah, we're gonna do that again this year, so we'd love it
Nice.
if you guys would be able to come again.
Oh, yeah, it was fun. What I thought was interesting is that every person that graduated wanted their picture taken with Judge
Mhm,
Spencer Nago.
They did.
So.
Yeah.
That's
That's
kind of
good.
cool.
Mhm.
She made that connection with
Yes.
those folks.
Yeah, absolutely. And we still have people reach out. I have some that graduated in the past few years that will still reach out and just check in and let me know how they're doing, or it's nice. They just either pop in or they'll text me, and it's nice to hear from them and know that they're doing
Yeah.
well and that they're thinking about you. So
So what would you say? Is it mostly alcohol? Is it everything? Is
right
it-
now, we're mainly alcohol. I think we only have 2 individuals that were drug offenses, and then the other 23 are alcohol. That's what we see the most of. Meth is clearly a big problem in Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of those referrals, and lots of times if we do, some of their past criminal charges keep them from coming in.
Oh,
There's certain rules we have to follow through the state, and lots of times their criminal history is what stops them from coming in.
mm. Yeah, I look through the jail tracker once in a while to see what guests we have over there. And a lot of meth.
Yep,
problems,
absolutely.
A lot of probation violations, a
Mhm.
lot of meth.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow, Keep this going for a long time. Take a
Ready for a motion?
motion. Yeah.
All right, I'll move that we consider approving the submission of the fiscal year 2024 adult treatment court grant application, in the amount of $161,757.44, and move that item to next week's work session.
I support that. So, all in favor of moving the adult treatment court grant application in the amount of $161,757.44 to the Board of Commissioners meeting, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved.
Thank you.
All right, next up is consider approving the submission of the fiscal year 2024 juvenile treatment court grant application in the amount of $105,980.12.
Maria could not be here today, so I am acting on her behalf. This year, we're asking for $105,980.12 to cover juvenile substance abuse screening, funds to assist with off-site testing, iRide Plus passes, incentives, because as Kate mentioned, they work well for adults, but they work really well for juveniles. So we've been working on those. Some gift cards for youth who graduate. That is not new, but kind of new. So we used to have graduation parties, and with COVID and that kind of thing, we haven't always been able to do that, or scheduling. So if we can't have the party, or the youth would prefer, sometimes we just give them a gift card with a plaque and that kind of thing. So, and then we also have a mandatory conference that Maria has to attend, and then some of her salaries and fringes. So that's where we are with this program. It's slightly more than we asked for last year, which we received $92,500. So can definitely operate if we get a similar amount. I did want to mention that we didn't ask for the federal funding on this grant particularly, and we could have, but this grant is also supplemented by the Child Care Fund. So we get whatever isn't approved by the state funded through that way. So we didn't really have a lot of time to coordinate whether those would work together or they wouldn't. So we didn't apply for those federal funds because we're really fully funded between the two programs right now. I think she only has about 7 youth in there right now. So our numbers have been down a little bit over the past couple of years with the juvenile drug court. I think some of the kids are on a more traditional probation path versus getting to the level where they're in the drug court or the alcohol court. So seeing lots of tobacco, lots of vaping, lots of marijuana, but that doesn't get them to the level that puts them here in this program.
Gotcha. And what are we seeing with the youth in this program? What kinds of substances?
I think it's mostly alcohol. Again, with these kids, we do have a few kids that end up on the meth path or worse, but it's mainly alcohol.
Similar to the adult treatment. What are the numbers usually, like if this is down?
So, I mean, the most we can have is 15.
Yeah.
So sometimes we're around 10, sometimes we're a little above, a little below,
Right.
but
So it's not a big shift in numbers, but it's a big percent. But
when the numbers are,
Yeah.
when you're looking at that maximum, yeah, definitely.
I'm in favor of moving this.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we consider approving the submission of the fiscal year 2024 juvenile treatment court grant application, the amount of $105,980.12, and move that item to next week's work session.
I support that. There's been a motion to approve the fiscal year 2024 juvenile court grant application forwarded to the Board of Commissioners. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion has been approved. All right, next item is consider approving submission of the fiscal year 2024 Swift Insure Sanctions Program application in the amount of $223,500.
I'm Carolyn Johnson. I'm the coordinator for Swift Insure. Last year, we asked for 213,000 and got 213,000. Our grant request consists of wages and fringes for myself and Aaron, our case manager, jail sanctions, drug testing, and then supplies, which is drug testing cups. We have 22 currently in our program. We see mostly meth, fentanyl, and cocaine. That's mostly what we see. Most of the people in our program have possession charges. So I know Kate was saying they have a lot of alcohol and certain cases they don't take. And we usually get the possession cases that they don't take. It seems like, but most of ours are possession of meth cases. We have been in existence since 2011, I think, when we got our first grant, but operating since 2009, so about 14 years.
We've obviously gone through all of these for me since 2018. So, and it's interesting how you start to piece things into where they're going or whatever. So this always seemed to be, more of a disciplinary, heavy hand. Is that because we're doing, we're dealing with I guess stronger issues with drug addiction here in this program,
I would say
harder
definitely
harder
90,
to break habits.
yes,
than,
90 some, I don't even know the percentage, but it's in the 90s of the people in our program have substance
Okay.
use issues.
Okay.
And it's kind of like the last ditch effort before they're looking at prison. For our
Okay.
program, they have to have unsuccessful times in probation.
Mhm.
And they have to have 2 or 3 needs that they're looking at, like housing, substance use, no employment. I mean, that's what we see mostly in our program.
And there,
So
so
a
there
lot
are
of barriers.
about 90 in your program.
No,
Oh,
90% of the
90%, sorry.
participants in our program have substance use issues when they come in.
And how many are in the program?
22 right now.
22.
Yes.
So similar to the adult treatment.
Mhm. Yeah.
So these are mostly folks that have a long history of
Yes, of non-compliance.
legal issues.
Yes, barriers to employment, but they're felons automatically in our program. Yes.
Employment supports, is there anything like that for folks like this?
You mean like certain employers that hire felons?
Yeah.
There are a lot of them that do.
Uh-huh,
My case manager does a job list every week and she gives it to the people who are searching. So we help them with that.
uh-huh.
We know of the employers that hire felons. I mean, right now, it's very easy for a felon to get a job. The casino is hiring people, I mean, basically on the spot for the seasonal
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
So that's helpful.
A job, I think is one of the major factors that keeps people out of trouble.
And structure is a big change for people. I mean, if they're
Yeah.
just coming out of jail, I mean, sometimes they don't have a place to live, they don't have a steady job, they don't have a lot of support, so we
Mhm,
work with them on those issues.
mhm.
as
Good,
well. They have frequent drug testing 1 to 2 times a week with our program. So we've seen an increase in the cost of testing as well.
okay. I'll make a motion then that we consider approving the submission of the fiscal year 2024 Swift Insure Sanctions Program grant application in the amount of $223,500 and move this item to next week's board work session.
Support that. There's been a motion to move forward the Swift Insure Sanctions Program application to the Board of Commissioners. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion is approved.
Thank
See
you.
Next
Thank
week.
you.
Thanks
I
for your
appreciate
help.
your support. Thank you.
All right, the next item is consider approving the fiscal year 2023 Community Corrections Grant Agreement Change Notice 1 between Department Corrections and Isabella County in the amount of $95,000, an increase of $20,000 to the total authorized budget, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. Welcome.
Hello.
Freedom.
So we were approved, the CCAB approved us to apply for the 2024 OMSP, the opioid meth specific programming through TRICAP. The state actually has a little bit of extra money this year. They want to give us $20,000 to start that now.
Okay.
And we just have to go jump through the hoops to get that going.
Mhm. Excellent.
Nice. And what's involved in that? What's,
It's at TRICAP, which is in Saginaw. It's a probation residential services place. It is.
okay,
I don't have the numbers in front of me. I do have the numbers in front of me, but they're from Gary, but it's
21 weeks.
21 weeks. It's a 5-month program.
They live there, but it's
Residential.
They
not
live there.
secure.
It's not
Uh-huh.
secure. And yeah, so it's a very intensive opioid meth specific training. And most of TRICAP is paid through by the state just automatically when you send somebody there, but this particular program, because of the intensive nature, costs more. So we have to fund that through
Mhm.
and ask for the grant, so.
So I know we were sending 5 people before the last time we met. So is this it? Increase of 4 more?
Yeah, it'd be about 4 more.
Okay.
That we could get in this year. And it would also
That'd be
help us secure that money for next year. We could use up some of that money this year and show a need for next year, so.
So it's allocated to another county and they couldn't use it for
Okay,
whatever reason. So then it came back into the pot of money. And once
And
we were notified, so.
we have people who be volunteering to doing the program.
Yeah, I think the probation
With
department's got
9
people ready to
Yeah,
go.
look, that's great. I
Right
mean,
now, and
it's
as they
that we
come,
have
we'll-
positions.
So what did you say the name of the facility was in Saginaw?
TRICAP.
TRICAP.
I know I mentioned to the Board of Commissioners and also the Barbara that we should carve out a portion of the opioid funds that we receive from the lawsuit for this program if it works out, I think.
Yeah, if it works.
I mean,
Well, we've had a work group meeting to discuss how to go forward with that. Had some ideas thrown out there, but we don't have anything solid on that, but I think we all kind of want to do something that's going to be effective,
mhm.
This
so.
program's in several other counties. We don't have the statistics on the effectiveness of it, but I know it's used in different places throughout the state. And our DOC supervisor, Sandra Eagle, was really in favor of us pursuing this as well. And the people that go into the program are going to be under DOC supervision because they have to be the felony opiate probationer. So
Mhm.
we're excited to give it a try.
And they have openings at TRICAP. You think you're going to be able to get people in there?
Yeah.
Okay,
They're I've not official numbers, but I remember that I looked at their numbers before COVID, it was around 72%. And then after
Oh, okay.
COVID, it fell down to about 63. So
Uh-huh.
The COVID, it took a dive because they weren't getting referrals. And
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
so, but it was fairly effective, so.
All right.
okay.
Great. Get 4 more into this program.
I'll make a motion then that we consider approving the fiscal year 2023 Community Corrections Grant Agreement. Change notice 1 between the Department of Corrections and Isabella County in the amount of $95,000 and an increase of $20,000 to the total authorized budget and authorize the board chair to sign the same. And I move that we send this to next week's work session.
Support that. All right. Motion to bring forward to the next week's work session, the increase in the community corrections agreement grant. All in favor, say aye.
Okay.
All opposed, same. All right, motion is approved. Thank you, Andrew. Good. One more. All right, the last one, consider approving the agreement for services between Isabella County on behalf of the Isabella County Community Corrections Advisory Board and SMB Probation Center, Tri-County Community Education Program effective May 16th, 2023 until September 30th, 2023, the amount of $20,000. Authorized board chair to sign the same.
This is just a contract that goes along with the change agreement. We have to have a contract with TRICAP. It has been vetted through the county's legal department. Nicole took care of that a couple of weeks ago. So it's basically just the next part of the process to have an agreement with them. Everyone has signed it except for the chairman, so we should be good to go for
Okay.
next week.
All right. I'll make a motion then that we consider approving the agreement for services between Isabella County on behalf of the Isabella County Community Corrections Advisory Board and SMB Probation Center, Tri-County Community Adjudication Program effective May 16th, 2023 until September 30th, 2023 in the amount of $20,000 and authorize the board chair to sign the same and move that we move that item to next week's work session.
That's support. All right, that's been moved and supported. That would bring forward the approval for Isabella County Community Corrections Advisory Board and SMB Probation Center, the amount of $20,000. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same. Motion is approved. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Thanks,
Yep.
everyone. All right. Do you have any announcements?
I do not.
Okay, I don't either. Last call to the public, not no one online. So move forward and I adjourn the meeting at 9:26.
All right.